The Committee on Ways and Means will now come to order. Please call the roll.
Chairman McGurl,
Present.
Vice Chair Lovasco, Representatives Bland Manlove, Coleman, Eggleston, Mayhew, Pfeiffer, Riggs, Roden, Weber.
Okay, we have a quorum. The next thing we will do, we will move into executive session. I move that House Bill 2637 be voted do pass. Any discussion? Representative Mayhew.
Mr. Chairman, I have a substitute and I move for its adoption.
Any discussion?
I have a substitute first.
Yeah, substitute first. Representative Manlove, you had your...
I was just wondering if the changes could be described.
Yes, I can do that. I was waiting for permission from the chair.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So the changes are that in response to discussion during the hearing and also further consultation, Missouri was removed from the language due to the potential problem with the Commerce Clause of the Constitution, and it removed the term distribution generation to align the bill with the Senate language in Senate Bill 745. Also, removing these two words clarifies and simplifies the language.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Representative Mayhew.
Mr. Chair, I have an amendment. It has been distributed, and I move for its adoption.
Any discussion? Representative Mayhew.
So some cleanup language in it. Language was changed, as you can see in the amendment in front of you, replaces or adds used to construct a solar photovoltaic energy system and all purchases of materials and supplies used directly to construct or make. So just, like I said, just cleanup language.
Any further discussion on House Amendment 1? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting the House Committee Amendment 1 signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say no. You have adopted the amendment. I move that we roll the amendment into a new substitute and adopt the substitute. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those who oppose say no. The ayes have it. You have adopted the substitute. I move that the House Committee substitute for House Bill 2637 be voted do pass. Any discussion? Representative Eggleston.
To speak on the sub, if I may.
Proceed. Yeah.
Thank you. Not a fan of the part where the electric companies would want no sales tax when they're just selling it on people's homes. I'm fine with the industrial part. I've had some discussions with the bill sponsor, so there may be some future tweaks. So I'm just going to vote present on it right now, and we'll have some future discussions as we move it forward. Just want to let everybody know that's why I'm voting present. Thanks.
Any further discussion? Please call the roll.
Chairman McGurl,
Aye.
Vice Chair Lovasco, Representatives Bland Manlove, Coleman, Eggleston, Mayhew, Pfeiffer, Riggs, Roden, Weber. Roden. Okay.
Okay, Coleman.
Okay. Call the vote yet. Okay. Coleman.
On 2337. By a vote of 6 yes and 2 present, you have voted the House Committee substitute for House Bill 2637 do pass. Okay. I move that House Bill 1679 be voted do pass. Any discussion? Representative Manlove.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a substitute. It has been distributed. I move for its adoption.
Any discussion?
Sure. So basically what this amendment does is tightens up the language as we had the 3 different kind of versions. So this brings them all into saying will be levied at the same tax rate as food. And if you go to, it also adds the definition of food, which is standard. It's kind of boilerplate language to bring that all together. If you look on the fiscal note for House Bill 2272, this, I've been told, is the closer fiscal note with combining all of theirs together so that all the language mirrors. And so, you good?
No,
Okay. So if you read that fiscal note, I think it's literally on page 2. It says the current sales tax rate is the 4.225, and the current sales tax rate on food is the 1.225. That 3% that would be taken away is GR. So my biggest concern was that I knew that 1.225 was a part of school district money. So it says that the 1.225 goes 1% to the school district trust fund, 0.125% to the Conservation Commission, and then 0.1 to the Parks Soil and Water Fund. So my biggest concern was that the school districts did not take a hit and their tax levy is not included in this change. So I am I'm very much for this bill. And also a lot of our schools tend to have diaper banks in them and are providing students with feminine products. So this actually might be some relief to the schools as people hopefully would be able to afford them better. And I have not had any pushbacks from the school districts, and I asked KCPS. So with that, I'm open to any questions.
Representative Mayhew.
Lady, was this pre-distributed? Did we get an email on it?
Yes.
Okay, well, I apologize because I didn't have a page 2 here of the thing you handed out.
No, there's only a page 1. The page 2 I was talking about was the fiscal note.
On Rashine's.
Page.
The 2272.
Okay, so mine has nothing, it's 1 page, and this is a substitute? So,
Well,
rather than an amendment? So so the page you're referring to is the page I don't have, which is those changes in those rates that you're talking about. So do you have a spare that you could let me see that?
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Not the fiscal note, the page, I remember this bill had more than 1 page. No, my apologies. My apologies for the confusion, Mr. Chair. Thank you, lady.
So for those that are watching, the question was, how did we go from basically all of the verbiage in those three big bills down to a one-page House Committee sub? And it's basically summarizing all of the words that were in there that all alluded to this one part that that diapers and hygiene products should be taxed at the same rate as food. So we actually created a simple bill.
Any further discussion? Representative Eggleston.
Sure. If I don't vote yes, I usually try to explain why, just like I did on the last one. So I'm going to be a no on this one. And here's why. And I totally respect the members, all three members who brought it. They're great folks. But having a sort of a targeted discount to just a certain demographic, I'm not sure that is the right way for government to do this. Had it been hygiene across the board, like toilet paper, shampoo, soap, things like that, that everyone, and even these products plus those, I'd probably be cool with. I know my kids are both married. One has a kid in diapers, one does not. The one that does not probably needs more financial help than the one that has the kid. The fiscal note, kind of reducing that number just to have a smaller number when it doesn't really help us with GR, kind of just fulfilling the earmarks. I probably would have left it at the full amount. And then the less we get in tax, especially sales tax, the slower we are to hit the triggers for the income tax reductions that we have built into the code in the future. And of course, reducing income tax helps people buy more things like soap and shampoo and everything. So for those reasons, it's not really constructed the way that I'd be cool with, so I'm going to be a no on it. I just wanted to explain. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of adopting the substitute signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed say no. The ayes have it. You have adopted the substitute. Now I move that the House Committee substitute for the House Bills 1679, 2272, and 2859 be voted do pass. Any discussion? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Chairman McGurl,
Present.
Vice Chair Lavasco, Representatives Bland Manlove, Coleman, Eggleston, Mayhew, Pfeiffer, Riggs, Roden, Weber.
Come back to me.
Chairman McGurl.
Aye. Okay. By your vote of 5 yeas and 1 no and a present, you have voted the House Committee substitute for House Bills 1679, 2272, and 2859 do pass. With that, the Committee on House Ways and Means will now adjourn.